In the late 1980s, Arnold Schwarzenegger was untouchable in action movies. The Terminator, Predator, Conan the Barbarian, every role cemented him as the ultimate muscle-bound hero. But when it came to comedy, Hollywood studios thought he was a disaster waiting to happen. "Why would we cast him in a comedy?" they said. "The more people this guy kills on screen, the more money we make. Why would we change that?" The idea of Arnold making people laugh seemed impossible, even laughable. But Schwarzenegger wasn't ready to be boxed in. He saw an opportunity, a way to prove that he could not only act, but make an entirely different genre work, and earn more money than ever before. Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't about to let Hollywood's doubts stop him. Together with Danny DeVito and director Ivan Reitman, he came up with a bold strategy. Instead of taking a standard salary, they agreed to forego upfront pay entirely. This allowed the movie to be made on a tight budget of just $16.5 million, a fraction of what a blockbuster typically cost. In exchange, they negotiated 40% of the movie AS back-end profits, a gamble that most actors wouldn't dare take. They bet on the film's success, risking months of work with no guaranteed paycheck. It was a daring move that turned what studios saw as a risk into a potential goldmine and set the stage for one of the most lucrative deals of Arnold's career. When Twins hit theaters in 1988, nobody expected it to be a blockbuster, especially not with Schwarzenegger in a comedic role. But audiences loved it. The film, starring Arnold and Danny DeVito as unlikely fraternal twins, grossed $216 million worldwide. Home video sales added even more profits, and the back-end deal Arnold and DeVito had struck began to pay off in a way few could have predicted. What seemed risky became Schwarzenegger's most profitable movie ever. In an interview years later, Arnold revealed the final figure: over $40 million, far more than he ever earned from his action blockbusters. It was proof that thinking outside the box and taking calculated risks could yield life-changing rewards. But behind the comedy and the massive paycheck, there was more drama. Studios had doubted him, skeptics laughed, and yet Arnold had turned all that skepticism into one of the smartest career moves of his life. The road to Twins wasn't smooth. Studios were hesitant, unsure how an action star could carry a comedy. "Are you crazy?" executives asked. They feared Arnold's comedic debut would flop, and every studio thought the same, until Danny DeVito and Ivan Reitman came on board. Together, the trio convinced the studio to take a chance, showing that chemistry and clever planning could outweigh doubts. The deal they struck, no salaries up front, 40% of the back end, was unprecedented and risky, but it paid off spectacularly. Even after the movie's success, fans were left wondering about what could have come next. Plans for a sequel, titled Triplets, were in motion, with Eddie Murphy set to join the cast. But fate intervened. Director Ivan Reitman passed away before filming could start, and the project was shelved indefinitely. It was a mix of genius, risk, and near-miss opportunities, the kind of behind-the-scenes drama that Hollywood stories are built on. Arnold Schwarzenegger's gamble on Twins wasn't just a lucky break. It was a masterclass in risk-taking and negotiation. By passing up upfront salaries and taking a cut of the back end, he turned a $16.5 million comedy into a $40 million payday, more than he ever earned from Terminator or Predator. The lesson? Sometimes the biggest rewards come not from playing it safe, but from betting on yourself and thinking creatively. Arnold didn't just change his career. He proved that even established stars can redefine their path with one bold move. It also shows the power of collaboration. DeVito, Reitman, and Arnold combined their talents and vision, transforming skepticism into massive success. The film wasn't just a hit. It was a blueprint for how actors can leverage clever deals to maximize earnings. And while fans remember the laughs, the true story is about strategy, courage, and turning doubt into opportunity. Twins proved that sometimes the riskiest moves pay off the most. Arnold Schwarzenegger went from an action hero nobody wanted in a comedy to earning more money than any film in his career, all because he took a bold gamble. But it also leaves a lingering question. What if the sequel, Triplets, had happened? With Eddie Murphy joining Arnold and Danny DeVito, could they have repeated the same magic, or even topped it? It's a story about daring to challenge expectations, trusting your instincts, and turning Hollywood skepticism into a $40 million triumph. So next time you're facing a risk or an opportunity that seems impossible, ask yourself, what bold move could change everything, just like it did for Arnold? Beyond the money and the blockbuster numbers, Twins is a story about courage and creativity. Arnold wasn't just taking a financial risk. He was stepping outside his comfort zone, leaving behind the action roles that made him famous. He trusted his instincts, leaned on his collaborators, and dared to show a different side of himself. That decision didn't just make him richer, it changed how audiences saw him, proving he could make people laugh just as effectively as he could dominate the screen. It's a reminder that behind every successful deal or movie, there's a human story. A mix of fear, ambition, and daring choices that can rewrite a career in ways no one expects. And while we'll never know exactly how Triplets would have turned out, Arnold's gamble on Twins shows that sometimes taking a leap of faith pays off far more than playing it safe. Arnold Schwarzenegger's journey with Twins isn't just a Hollywood story. It has a lesson in daring to defy expectations. He turned skepticism into $40 million, stepped out of his comfort zone, and showed that taking bold risks can transform a career. And yet the story isn't completely finished. The unmade sequel, Triplets, could have taken everything to another level. We'll never know what might have happened, but Arnold's gamble reminds us that sometimes the biggest rewards come from the most unexpected opportunities. It's a story about action, comedy, strategy, and courage, and it makes you wonder, what risks in your life could pay off in ways you never imagined?